I'm J.K. Hamilton, and I'm here with Maurice Simpson, who is my cousin, and also the CEO, right? Is that the CEO of From Cons to Dons, which is a magazine and a movement to help stop and break the cycle of recidivism, which is, those of you who may not know what that is, that's the fact that there's a revolving door in the prison system, particularly and with a focus on African-American men going in and out of prison. He's here. We're going to have a conversation about this, and then he's going to tell you about his movement. Maurice Simpson, how's it going? What are your thoughts on recidivism?
Well, first I want to say thank you. I'm glad to be here doing this interview with you and to talk about this very serious topic. My take on recidivism is scary. It is scary. You understand? The revolving door, it is scary because it's active and it is real and it's designed that way. Understand? It's created and established that way so that black males in particular, black and brown in particular, go out and come back and reoffend. There's a statistic that says 3 out of 5 that come home, right, within 6 months to a year, they reoffend. Violent felony offenders and non-violent felony offenders.
6 months to a year.
Within 6 months to a year, 2 years tops, 2 years tops, that they will reoffend. That's why you may see in a movie when a guy is going home from prison, the guard will say, "I'll see you later, you'll be back." That's scripted, but it's a reality.
Right.
It is a reality.
Wow. Well, what do you think is the reason, for the recidivism? And I've heard several things and several theories on it. But what do you, in your experience, because you've been in that cycle,
yes, sir,
and you've broken that cycle. So
by the grace
what do
of
you
God,
think is the reason that cycle continues to be a reality?
It starts with the individuals, man. It starts with the individual. Because they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right?
Okay.
And that's true. I don't know who came up with that theory, but it's true. You understand? There was times when I planned to fail. I failed to plan and I failed.
Right.
Because I didn't plan properly, you understand?
Right.
So it's with the individual, man. You understand? If you want to succeed, if you want to stop, if you want to discontinue certain behavior, it's on you. None of us have any puppet strings attached to us. I'm not controlled by anybody, you understand? God guides me when I'm doing right. Understand? And the devil guides me when I'm doing wrong. Right. I had to make a conscious decision on who I wanted to follow and what I wanted to do.
How much is institutionalism responsible for? The idea of institutionalism.
Well, let me just say this: around the country, right? There's what they say, the Department of Corrections. What are they correcting? I don't even know how long. I can Google it, obviously, but what are they correcting? They're not correcting anything.
Wow.
They're not correcting inmate behavior, convict behavior. You understand? They're not correcting anything. It is up to the individual, the inmate, the convict, the prisoner, however you want to tag him to herself. It is up to that person, that individual, to make the change and accept that tag. That's why we at Cons to Dons, we chose Cons to Dons, right? Because that contact, we want to take the stigma off that, right? And we're Dons, not a mafia Don, a gangster Don. We're gentlemen and gentlewomen.
Right.
Gentlemen and gentlewomen.
Wonderful.
Right? Men and women. So the concept of Cons to Dons is not just about males, because there are a lot of females that are incarcerated too.
Right.
You understand? A lot. And their mothers, their parents.
You have and man, like I said, I'm just happy to be talking with you.
Yes, sir. Right back with you, man.
I was a little guy.
Yes, sir.
You're older than me, but I love you.
I love you too, cousin. That's a fact.
But I want you to share some of the personal experiences in your life that contributed to that cycle for you. Perhaps it may also be a contributing factor in this cycle for other people.
I believe it is, and I said that's a great question. So let me start by saying this, right? I'm not proud of my past. Understand? I'm definitely not proud of my past, but I'm also not angry anymore with myself because of my past. And I say that because I was raised right. We were raised right. You understand? You had a 2-parent household. I had a 1-parent household, right? But nevertheless, the love from your father, right, was like, we called him, you called him Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I began to call him Big Daddy. Because I respected him as that, because he represented what a Big Daddy is, what a real father was. You understand? Like other men in our family. So, with that being said, what started it was when I was 9, my mom came to me. We was in Flatbush, Brooklyn. And she said to me, "You want to see your father?" And I didn't blink or hesitate. I just immediately, yes, right? And she looked at me and she smiled at me. And she said, "Okay." And she walked out of my bedroom, and I'm still watching cartoons the weekend, Saturday. I'm watching the cartoons. And subsequently, that following weekend, she said, "Come on." And we went downstairs and we talking, and I didn't know my dad was downstairs. So we get downstairs out the building, we walk to the sidewalk. And as I'm getting closer to him, to the sidewalk, I see him sitting in he's double parking a Corvette Stingray, right? And the car was, at that time, it was maybe 40,000, 50,000. Right. It was brand new. He had a 2-piece suit on, shirt and tie, unbuttoned. And when I got to the curb, I looked at him and his smile was just crazy. And so my smile began to emulate his smile. Right. But then I looked at my mother and she was just looking at him with a deadpan, serious face. And then he looked at her and he stopped smiling, right? I got in the car with this man, my father, right? Drove off. We hung out for 4 hours at 2 of his establishments, a store and a tailor store. A clothing store and a tailor store, they make clothing. From there, we went to the Children's Museum in Crown Heights in Brooklyn. So in total, we were together 4 hours. I remember nothing that was said other than 4 words this man said to me when he dropped me back off in front of my building. 4 hours later, he double parked in the same place, damn near, and he looked at me and he was smiling at each other. He's in the driver's seat. I'm sitting here and I'm smiling at him. He's smiling at me. Mm-hmm. And he just stopped smiling and looked at me and said, "I love you, man." Right? Mm-hmm. And I'm staring at this guy, my father, right? Right. And I'm just smiling. I didn't say "I love you" back, just met this guy, right? However, when he drove off, right, that following day, no phone call. No follow from him, no follow-up phone call. That week, no follow-up phone call. So now I'm about to ask myself, okay, does this guy really love me, right? Why is he not coming back? Why is he not calling my mom to speak to me? And I never questioned, I don't know why, but I never asked my mother, like, why is he not coming back? Why is he not trying to, like, he said he loved me, so what happened? Like, what happened? You understand? And so there's a song by a white rock group, I Want to Know What Love Is, by Foreigner. Right. During the weeks of his absence, right, I would hear that song, and the first time I heard that song, it kind of like, it broke me in half. You understand? Because I began to ask myself, like, damn, I want to know what love is too, you understand? But I need to know what it is from my father, you understand? I'm 54. Right. I'm 54. And I still miss this guy that I don't even know. You spent like 4 hours with me. You understand? And you tell me you love me, I still feel the moisture. I still feel the moisture from his kiss when he kissed me. I still feel the hair from his beard on my cheek. And I hear these songs, that song, and it kind of broke me in half a little bit, but it also put me back in the focus a little bit. But what he did to me, it sent me on a path to self-destruction, because you had me question my validity, right, my place in this world, my place in my family. And I began to see what you had with your dad, what Ernell and Tanya had with their dad. And I'm like, I'm the only one. Darlene and them had their father. I'm like the only one that didn't have a father. You understand? And it kind of made me want to isolate to the extent where I wasn't jealous of my cousin that had fathers, but I was hurting. You understand? I wanted that fatherly love too. I wanted to know what love is too from my father, right, my father. I didn't want to have to share your father. I began to call your father Big Daddy. Right. Before that, it was Uncle John, Uncle Sonny. Right. Then it became, I'm calling him Big Daddy after my father stopped showing up, after he didn't come back. Right. You understand? Yeah. So that incident, it triggered something within me, and it made me begin to dislike myself, question myself. And so your mom and dad, other family members would come and sit down and talk to me and try to get me to understand or help them understand what I was going through. I didn't know what I was going through. I didn't know I was rebelling and I was hurting because this guy, said what he said, that he loved me and didn't come back. Fast forward to 2011 when I was in the zoo, which is the penitentiary, locked in a cage like an animal, right? I'm listening to a song. That same song by Foreigner came on the radio. Right. This song followed me from when I was 9 years old, right, into my adult life. And when I heard the song come on in the radio, I was locked in. I was in the cage, in that cell. And I just finished coming from my college program. And I was making a snack, preparing a snack, rather. And the song came on, and I told myself, don't you cry. You better not cry. So I had to steel myself, and I asked myself, what is it about this song? Is it the beat? Is it the lyrics? What is it that's moving you the way it's moving you? Right. And I sat there on that bed, that steel cot, and I began to analyze the lyrics of the song. And it went right back to day one when I heard that song. I missed my father, I missed that love from him, and I wanted to know what it felt like. So fast forward to 2011, I was able to fill that void, that absence, and understand this is why I went through what I went through. Right. This is why I felt what I felt all them years. Because of that void, and I didn't understand, but God allowed music to help me understand what I was feeling and why I went on that path to self-destruction.
Wow. Wow. And I noticed that it still affects you even now at 54 years old.
I miss him, man. You understand? I miss what I spent 4 hours with him that I can remember. I don't remember seeing him when I was a toddler, a baby infant. I don't have those memories. I don't remember that. If he was there, I don't know. You understand?
So do you think there are other guys who go through the revolving door of the
absolutely
correctional department, who have similar situations, fatherhood being the root cause or the lack of fatherhood?
Well, I don't want to say it's predominantly because of lack of fathers being there and positive fathers. Because your father can be there, and if he's a deadbeat, he's just not there. Period. Right. You understand? Right. But I was incarcerated with men who their mom and dad were married, great parents. You understand? Right. Choices were made by these individuals to do what they did that led them to prison. Right. Subsequently, there are also guys I met in there who were innocent for murder, robbery, burglary, weapons possession. These people were innocent. Right. They were found guilty at trial, you understand? But later on, when they appealed their sentence 15, 20 years later, they were found to be not guilty and they were exonerated. Right. Understand? So I really do believe that, fathers are absolutely necessary. Absolutely. Absolutely. But you have to be effective. Right. Just being there is ineffective. Right. You understand? Your dad was there 24/7. Right. Very effective. Right. Some of his teachings I'm applying them now. Right. You understand? Because he just recently gave them to me. Right. You understand? Big Daddy. Big Daddy. That's right. So with that being said, I don't want to disregard and disrespect, those parents that struggle to raise, sons to be men. It's an individual choice, man. It's a choice to stop recidivism, to stop the in and out, to stop the crime, to stop the this, stop the that. It's a choice, man. Right. For some, it's easy, and for others, it's hard.
I want to ask, what do you say to the families? Because, of course, From Cons to Dons has a focus primarily on those who have been in the system and coming out of prison. But what do you say to the families of that? Because it's all systemic, family system.
Yes, sir. Well, through the magazine and the website, by the grace of God, we're going to also work with the families as well. You understand? And particularly the mothers of these incarcerated men who have children. You understand? Because what we want to do, we want to bridge the gap, right, so to speak, with prison visits. You understand? Mm-hmm. So in order to do that, we have to reestablish a connection with the mother and incarcerated father. You understand? Of the children. You understand?
So you said we'll bridge the gap with prison visits. Can you elaborate on that?
If the mother is not bringing the child to see the father, we want to close that gap. as opposed to widening the gap, because the longer he's in there or she's in there, the wider that gap goes, and the more the child suffers, and the more the father suffers. I mean, all my years when I was in prison, I suffered every day. I had visits from family, my children. I got packages, I got mail. I made the phone calls, collect. You know, they paid for it, but I suffered every day.
Right.
You know, every day. My visits photos, if you look at my visit, even my college graduation photo, I didn't smile. I had 11 professors, and they said, smile. And it was hard to smile. I forced to smile. Right? Because it was my graduation day, you understand? But nevertheless, I always knew where I was, you know? And I knew also that my family was out there suffering one way or another. Right. They were going through some things while me being incarcerated.
Right.
You know, my children was going through things by me being incarcerated. Because the person is incarcerated, it does not mean the family not incarcerated with them, because they are. Right. They are. Absolutely, they are.
Right. Wow. So we want to. I want to just kind of give you an opportunity to talk about cons and dons, you know, and what it will bring to breaking toward the end of breaking this cycle. What exactly does it all involve, from cons to dons? I want to make sure I say from cons to dons and not cons and dons. You know, what does it all involve? What would you want people to know about it?
Well, first and foremost, is to break the cycle of recidivism with the inmates in prison, male and female, okay? So each magazine, each subscription that we put out, is we're highlighting individuals who were incarcerated, who've come home from prison, who was once upon a time a con, now you're a don. And a don, like I said earlier, is a gentleman, understand, and a lady.
Right.
That's the concept of cons to don. You were a con, now you're a gentleman or a lady, and you're conducting yourself as such.
So it emphasizes, there's an emphasis on women.
Oh, for sure, the women are included. That's yes, sir.
As well.
Cons to don, that don title is not just for males in our organization.
Right.
It's for gentlemen. It's making you a gentleman, going from a con to a gentleman, from a con to a lady.
Right.
A lady. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we want to feature individuals who were incarcerated, who came home, who are doing the right thing, entrepreneurs, working 9 to 5 jobs, paying their taxes, just going to work, going to school, and doing the right thing.
Right.
You know, and we want to give them the resources to do that. So Cons to Dons is going to be unique in and of itself, because, as far as I know, it's the only program that's catering to people incarcerated while they're incarcerated, and to assist them when they come home.
Right.
The only one.
Right. And I'm not familiar with other programs, but I do know that I do want to end with this, that everybody's not qualified to do this. Right. I think what makes this even more meaningful is that you wear the scars of your experiences.
Unfortunately.
As opposed to someone some well-wisher who comes along and has never been in the system and attempting to do this. Why is it important that it come from a place of experience? Identification.
Like, I'm not qualified to do surgery, right? So I have to get a surgeon. I'm not saying that a person who's not been incarcerated before and involved in crime and a gangster lifestyle can't be a mentor, right? But for this particular work, you have to have been inside, right? And come home in order to give these people hope. You understand? Right. Because God placed this passion. I came home June 7, 2013, right? I came home, that was a Friday. That Monday, I was working. That Monday. I came home Friday, that Monday I was working, doing maintenance work, right? I began to also dabble in construction, but God placed this in my heart,
right,
to do youth work. I'm nobody's mentor, I'm nobody's role model. When I say youth work, is to conversate with the young people and get them to understand. I understand, because I've been there. Me and my comrades understand because we've been there.
Right.
And I've dabbled in different types of work, but this is something I believe God placed in my heart because I have a passion for it. And somebody told me years ago when I was in the zoo, which is the prison, that if you want to know what God wants you to do, find out what you're passionate about.
Right, absolutely.
And you can't be passionate about being a criminal. There's no passion in being a gangster.
Right.
There's no passion. You don't do that with passion.
Mm.
Understand? You do that with anger
Right.
and hate.
Right.
You understand? That's the devil's work. Understand? So passion can't come from the devil. He doesn't have compassion. He doesn't have passion. So when I heard that, it just stayed in my mind. And as the years began to progress, it began to reverberate. And I'm like, wow. So this is the reason why I was able to do this for so many years for free, not charging $1, not caring about $1.
Right.
I just wanted the message to be delivered, and I wanted it felt. That's it.
Bless God. Bless God. My goodness. How do people find out? Where do they go?
Well, we on Constant Dons is on YouTube. It's on the website. It's constantdon.com. We're on Twitter, Constant Dons. You can contact me on Facebook, Malik Simpson. On Twitter, The Real Malik 718, and through family and friends.
Okay. Okay, and all of that information should be on the screen. I want to thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you as well.
For being courageous enough to share your testimony, and even more courageous to make your testimony a ministry to help those who are coming from or are presently in where you've been.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you, man.
You too. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
And go face to face with the jurisdiction. I went from con to don and changed up my mission. Now I'm living how I always envisioned. Cons and dons, I changed my life forever. Broke through the bars and I finally found the treasure. Went from sleeping next to concrete walls to waking up from the sunny weather. Defied the odds and I beat out every inch of pressure. I finally get to be free and live life how I want to be. Like a boss, that's so perfect to me. No more officers correcting the peace or waking me from a sleep. I'm a don, it's time to preach to the streets. Yeah. Cons and dons, I changed my life forever. Broke through the bars and I finally find it.